Glenn Ignacio to talk about all this, retired U.S. Air Force Special Operations Commander. You know, be in active pursuit was kind of an interesting development that the Coast Guard went up to this third oil tanker and said, all right, we want to come on board. And they said, not so fast. I guess they kind of took off. I don't know. Does this thing happen? Things like that happen very often in the high seas?
Based on the distance, they just throttled it up and said, see you later. So I know that they're tracking them and trying to get to them. But yeah, that's basically what happened. The ship is empty, so it's probably got a pretty good speed compared to anybody else, I assume.
Yeah, so they, I mean, it sounds funny. I was chuckling a little bit because you don't, you know, you think about like a California highway with the highway patrol, but that doesn't happen in the water like that. But will we keep after them? I mean, how do you see this whole operation for this ship and then more broadly actually playing out? This is going to be one after another?
Yeah, I think this ship was, like I said, empty. It was heading, turned around, and they were going to try to intercept it because of either false flags or a false location, which is part of that ghost fleet. They're trying to avoid sanctions. But right now, that basically the Armada, as President Trump used it, is basically blocking anything that's coming in and out of Venezuela to stop their oil from getting places. And 80% alone of Venezuela's export goes to China. So this is really impacting many. I believe it's boosting the oil prices already. But again, I think that this is going to continue to happen as long as the ships try to get in and get out with oil from Venezuela.
So the end game is what? I mean, The Hill had an article talking about Trump's push to make Maduro cry uncle, and that's the end game in all of this. But they say it's murky because Trump has not ruled out war with Venezuela, warning the U.S. military presence in the region would only grow until Venezuela returned the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us, apparently referring to Venezuela's nationalization of its energy industry. So does Maduro literally say, all right, enough, or is there some other kind of an ending to all of this?
I think that's one of the things is to try to get him to cry uncle, just like you said, to try to do a regime change. But again, we're not good at that. So the idea of having personnel or people inside Venezuela rise up and maybe overthrow him. Again, these oil sanctions and money, unfortunately, do hurt people more than it hits the government. But what I see is two things: is one, trying to get Maduro to cry uncle, as we talked about. But there is growing pressure by Russia and China coming to Maduro's or Venezuela's aid. The other thing that could really kick this off is, instead of the United States going in with, say, boots on the ground, is that if Maduro or Venezuela decided to attack or accidentally attacks any kind of U.S. forces, that's a trigger for us to say self-defense and then go in Venezuela, which completely changes the rhetoric. But still, it's the same thing, active conflict in Venezuela.
Okay, interesting. So, I mean, you know, and anytime you're in active conflict, there are risks involved. In this case, what about the role of the Russians? I mean, you and I talk so much about Ukraine, but does Russia really have Maduro's back here, as has been suggested? And if so, what does that mean? How does that add to all this?
Yeah, well, Lavrov, and we've seen him very vocal from the Kremlin, is saying to Venezuela, hey, we've got your back on this. But again, there's significant distance. And it is sort of interesting is that they're saying that Venezuela's sovereignty should be respected, but yeah, they invaded Ukraine. You know, it's really interesting. So they're really trying to back them. I think they're going to try to fund them in any way to keep Venezuela supported, but I don't know how they can do it with such distance. And it's, again, probably political pressure than anything else.
And China? Because it's interesting. We're going to talk to Kelly Meyer, will preview the Trump event next hour, supposed to be on shipbuilding. And you think about kind of trying to rival the Chinese Navy. You think obviously about Venezuela as well, because that's the context and that's when the announcement's being made, whatever the details of it are today. But what about China?
Well, China definitely, you know, the biggest thing, as we said, is Venezuela's 80% of all the oil goes to China, but it's only 4% of the oil that China takes in. So it's a minor effect, but again, China being a big country. So they are the same thing. They're very vocal about saying, hey, this is against the law of international safety of law at sea, all these different things. So China is imposing a lot of pressure. Now, the only thing that this is ever going to come to on a global stage is something at the UN, but that takes, you know, almost years to get to. And then the US and everybody else has veto powers, so nothing's going to happen in the UN. So again, it's loud pressure, but a small percentage for China, bigger impact on Venezuela for stopping the oil.
So then, big picture, what odds in the first half of next year, say, would you put for that armed military conflict that you talked about, where the U.S. is engaged militarily in you know, a significant way in Venezuela? What odds would you put on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's trying to figure out exactly what the percentages would place bets.
But is it
But
above
again, I think
50%, say? Like, is it, you think it's a pretty good odds?
it's really right down the middle because again,
Okay.
we're looking at political pressure with Maduro. You got the conflict that could be potential if something kicks off, and you got the international pressure, but a massive, massive force sitting down there. So is it sit out and wait or what? I mean, it is really going to see what happens here, but I think it's a 50-50 that something's going to happen. But again, I don't think it's
Yeah,
boots on the
because
ground.
right, because you don't know how Maduro's going to react to the earlier cry uncle, comparison or wish list that the United States has. That could happen, right? And that
Yeah,
changes the whole dynamic.
you're absolutely right. And so I think that especially after we get to the new year, seeing the actions from him and anybody else, and again, what happens on the seas, I think that's going to be a deciding factor. But I don't think there's really much right now that is a solid trigger to this. Unless, again, President Trump has something behind that he wants to do. But right now, I think it's a 50-50 of what action will take place or if he'll cry uncle.
Glenn Ignacio, thank you as always. Always good to have you on. Now,